First off, let's get our grill ready. We're going to put our ash pan on its highest setting, put an aluminum foil roasting pan on top of that underneath our grill, and we're going to put about 1 inch of water in there. We want to make sure that there's water in there throughout the entire cook. With that done, we're going to attach our thermometer probe to the back of our grill plate here. This is going to tell us what the temperature is 1 inch above the grill. That's where the cooking's taking place. Now we're going to do a long cook here, so what we want to do is put some charcoal in the bottom of the firebox, and then we're going to put our lighted charcoal on top of that. That way that'll burn down slowly. It'll burn longer. You won't have to keep going back and refilling it. Now let's take a look at our beef. We've got a 19-pound USDA choice Black Angus brisket here. It's a Packer brisket. Now on the bottom here, you're going to find there's a lot of membranes, a lot of silver skin. You're going to have to trim this off. This is not good to eat. It's going to end up as gristle if you cook it on the meat. You want to get rid of as much of this as you can. It's going to take you a while. It's well worth it, believe me. Once you get this thing done, this is the last thing you want on the bottom of this brisket. Now over here, you'll notice there's a very large chunk of hard fat. It's there on every brisket there is. You want to make a V cut into the brisket. It's not going to be easy to do. It's pretty dense in there. You're going to want to cut out this entire chunk of fat. This is hard fat. It will not render down during the cook. It will not go away, and you don't want to eat it. It's not going to make for pleasant cooking or eating. Now we're going to flip her over. We've got a nice fat cap on the top of this brisket. We want to keep about 1/4 inch of that. This is the kind of fat that'll render down during the cook. It's got a lot of flavor in it. It'll soften. It'll keep the meat moist during the cook. It's what we want on here. Now up here where you got this thick part, you're going to want to trim that off. Now if you happen to hit a couple of bald spots there where you go through the fat and you're showing the meat, that's fine. They just call those windows. It just allows you to see exactly what your meat's doing during the cook. We're going to trim away all this fat until we got it down where we got a 1/4 inch fat cap over the whole thing. Now we got the flat down here on the right. We've got a nice thick flat. We've got the point up on the left where it's sticking up. That's where your burnt ends come from. For our rub, we're going to use a simple rub. It's going to be half coarse pepper. And we're going to put in an equal amount of coarse kosher salt. Just going to mix this up, sprinkle it over top of this. Try and sprinkle it as evenly as you can. You really don't want big patches or anything, but if you get some, don't worry about it too much. After you're done, you can just rub them in with your hand, spread them around a little bit. They'll be fine. They're not going to hurt anything. Top done, we want to go over the bottom. Same routine. We're going to sprinkle this as best we can. Try to distribute it evenly over the entire brisket, covering all the areas. Like I say, if you get a couple of spots there where it's a little denser than the other spots, just go back and rub it in with your hand, spread it around. All you want to do is season the meat. Okay, let's put this out on our cooker. We want to put the thick end of this down towards our firebox. As you can see, a 19-pound brisket is about all this firebox is going to hold. Okay, now we're going to stick some wood on here. I'm using pecan because I can't get oak. So I'm going to put 3 nice dry chunks of pecan on there. We got nice blue smoke, 275 Fahrenheit, 6-hour cook. After 3 hours, we're going to go in. We're going to spritz this with some water just to make sure it stays moist. We're going to check the aluminum foil pan, make sure it still has liquid in it. Okay, our 6 hours is up. Now what we want to do is we want to take this brisket. It's been smoked for 6 hours. We're going to wrap it as tight as we can in aluminum foil, and we're going to put it in the oven. I'm going to set the oven, have it preheated at 275 degrees. We're going to set our cook time for 6 hours. Hit the start button. 6 hours is up. We've got a beautiful tender brisket there. It's going to taste delicious.